Well, I was dreading the Christopher Nolan films. Not because I think they're bad, just because they're overrated.
I will take that as a bit of a compliment because that's fair. That's not. I'll take it for what it is. Thank you.
Right. It's like someone says, oh, you gotta go why can't I think of a Mexican name right now?
Applebee's.
Applebee's is not a Mexican restaurant, sir.
No,
I was gonna go the taco route.
Oh, okay.
But sure, Applebee's.
Sure.
And someone's like, well, Applebee's, it's got the greatest. Does Applebee's have burgers? I've never been to an Applebee's.
I've never been. I think they have French fries.
Why would you choose? Why have you chosen an example that you know dick about? What?
I think it's because it's referenced a lot in like jokes, but I think mostly it's by Americans, so they're more familiar with it.
Let's go with Kelsey's.
Yeah, Kelsey's.
You've been to a Kelsey's?
Oh, have I ever?
Do they have Kelsey's in the States, or is that a Canadian thing?
I'm going to hazard a guess that it's Canadian, but I'm not sure.
If you're from the States, let us know. Is there... Comment wherever. Email us.
Like, let us know that they're from the States, or let us know about Kelsey's?
Both. Be like, hey, I'm from the States. And then in a follow-up email...
Yeah, for sure.
Just be like, and by the way, we also have Kelsey's.
Or don't. Or do not. Welcome.
Yes. But yeah, it's like someone at Kelsey's being like, hey, go to Kelsey's. Kelsey's got the greatest burgers of all time. And you show up and you're like, it's not gross. It's not a bad burger. This was a great burger. But to tell me this is the greatest burger of all time, I don't know. It's just, here's the problem with the Dark Knight trilogy,
Sure.
as it is affectionately referred to as.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Sure.
But it's not as good as people say it is, which means if you're sitting down to watch the Dark Knight trilogy, you are doomed to be disappointed. Not because it's a bad film, but because someone has told you that it's something it isn't. And that's it's movie cancer when someone is like, hey, oh my gosh, it's the greatest, I went and saw Avatar, and it was so good that my face melted off, and I left the theater and I proposed to my girlfriend who I'd only been dating for a month, but Avatar, man, and I just had to, and then you sit down and you watch Avatar and you're like,
oh,
yeah, it's a film.
It made money.
I don't if you sit down and you watch it, it's the year 2012. Is that when Avatar came out?
I think 09 or 010.
09 or 010. And you sit down and you're like, it's good. But if they make a sequel, I sure hope it doesn't take 13 years because that wouldn't make any sense. But hello and welcome to this to our show.
I am a Dark Knight
individual.
trilogy.
I am a dark individual.
I don't want to say I'm a Dark Knight trilogy fan, I guess, but I liked most of what this trilogy has to offer. I would even say I'm an apologist, but I think I have a lot of the same tone.
As you should apologize.
I think I have a lot of the same tone, at least for this specific film, that you might. And so I think this podcast episode will be more in line with, say, Cats, where we ripped a film apart, than it was Batman Begins episode or Dark Knight episode.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm not about to defend this film.
I certainly hope not.
But I wouldn't say I'm going into this episode guns blazing. I wouldn't say I'm going into
Sure.
this episode
Yep.
with a hate.
Okay.
I would say I'm more going into it because, I wouldn't say I'm going into it positively, and I wouldn't say I'm going into it negatively. I
Sure.
would say I'm going into it inquisitively.
Yes.
So my it is pretty unanimously referred to as the weakest of the series.
Yes.
The Spider-Man 3, if you will.
Yeah.
And my question is, and I'm not arguing that. I'm not saying this isn't the worst one.
Sure.
But I really want to unpack and answer and figure out for everybody, but also for myself, why? Why is this one so bad? What about this one? What decisions? Because there are some really cool things about this movie. There are some great moments, some wonderful lines, some cool action. But there's also, but it is not, it's not great.
No.
And I just wonder why. And so that's something I'm looking forward to unpacking. But do you have some trivia for me, sir?
I do. And, I think just the one thing I'll add to what you said. I think you're right. Joking aside, I am not coming in guns a-blazing, horseback on, riding into town, shooting my gun in the air. I also am open to answering this great question of why for certain things. And I think if I had to describe it, I'm more of a disappointment at missed opportunity versus saying, wow, this is awful. It's more like, a lot of these things are okay, and as a whole, they don't add up to what I wanted it to be and what I think it could have been. But,
Sure.
yeah, I do have trivia.
Okay.
I'll ask it. I'll ask it after just saying a couple little tidbits. So, following the success of Dark Knight, apparently the studio executives wished for Riddler to be included into this third film as the primary villain, and they were encouraging, say, a casting of either Leonardo DiCaprio or something of that caliber, to which I'm a Leo fan, let's just paint it, and I raised an eyebrow at that, but Christopher Nolan thought it was too similar to the Joker. I thought this was interesting. I'm tipping my hat to the what I watched section, but I just watched a Leonardo DiCaprio film about Howard Hughes, and apparently some aspects of Bruce Wayne in this film were kind of, I guess, material that Nolan had shelved as a Hughes biopic. He kind of endorsed and incorporated into his portrayal of Christian Bale portraying Batman and Bruce Wayne and becoming a bit of a recluse and kind of walking around in his mansion, and rumors of him peeing into mason jars and whatnot. So I thought that was coincidental. And the only other thing, I guess a lot of this or aspects of this were different things that Christopher Nolan found interesting about Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities, which I've not read, but I've heard of, which centers around the French Revolution, which there are some times where things happen in this movie that gives a very French Revolution feel, even when Anne Hathaway's talking about like power shifts and the rich should batten down the hatches and there's going to be an upheaval. But I guess there were some dialogues, like even the opening dialogue with Inspector Gordon, like there were certain things that were almost line for line replications of components or sequences in that book. So I guess he Nolan, that is, was inspired a bit by that book and utilized it in some aspects of this film. But my question to you is a simple one. You might be familiar with it, the listener might not be, or you might both be, or neither of you, or insert some combination, but I want you to tell me, of this Dark Knight trilogy, now that we've reached the final film, how many of these films, of the three, if any, or maybe all of them, how many of them cut the 1 billion earnings mark?
Well, I would have to say, if I was thinking about it from...
Sorry, I can't do that for the whole episode. The 1 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of change.
I mean, I think I don't think Batman Begins did, because it was following up Batman and Robin. And just nobody knew. Nobody knew, everyone was like, another Batman film.
Right.
I don't even like my own nipples. Why would I go see...
I was about to make a comment, and I'm like, I'll just lay off, and there it is.
Why would I go see someone else's nipples? I think my answer is going to be... Are we talking worldwide or domestic?
Worldwide.
Worldwide. Okay. Well, so I'm going to show my hand a little bit.
Sure. Yep.
Because I've done my research and I have some notes here, and I'm going to talk money and ratings and stuff as my new, let's talk shop segment.
Yeah.
I know that this film did 1.1 billion.
Okay.
And I think that that's directly because it followed up The Dark Knight, right? It was like it didn't do 1.1 billion as The Dark Knight Rises. It did 1.1 billion as the follow-up to The Dark Knight.
Yep.
The Dark Knight, I think people enjoyed Batman Begins. I don't think people enjoyed Batman Begins enough to propel The Dark Knight into a billion-dollar film. However, harking back to what we talked about when we did The Dark Knight, I do think the death of Heath Ledger and word of mouth, and so maybe it started out okay, but then probably the box office probably really started to ramp up on The Dark Knight. So I'm going to say 2. I know for sure this one. The answer for sure is at least 1.
Sure.
I don't think Batman Begins did. I'm going to hazard that maybe I'm like completely on the center of balance. I could tip either way.
Sure.
For The Dark Knight. I'm going to tip towards yes, I think it did.
Okay.
But it's also entirely possible that it fell short of that, and that it was more popular post theatrical, that its legacy is bigger than its theatrical run was.
Right.
So I'm going to say 2.
2.
I might be wrong.
Okay. That is correct, 2.
Yes.
Batman Begins, like you said, it started off soft in the 373 million range, so, quite short of the billion mark. Dark Knight just barely inched over it with 1.005 billion. And like you said, I think we talked about this during Dark Knight as well. That is just so significant just because that wasn't in the MCU era where comic book movies were kind of just a big deal. Like, it was riding the tails of Batman Begins, but in that era, it wasn't a sure thing as well. But also, like you alluded to, Dark Knight Rises was definitely riding on the tailcoats of Dark Knight. So it quite clearly made the billion mark.
What an interesting aspect of this industry where a film like Dark Knight will propel an inferior film the quality of Dark Knight will propel an inferior film like The Dark Knight Rises to actually outperform the better film.
Right. Right.
You know? It's
Yeah.
not fair.
No, it's funny for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, sir. That was great trivia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, can you take care of some shop?
Okay. You want to talk numbers first, or you want to talk numbers? You want to talk dollars and cents, or you want to talk percentages?
I'm actually fine with either. I'm intrigued in both.
All right, so dollars and cents. This had a $230 million budget.
Okay.
No doubt, which is a really sizable budget. It's definitely a sizable budget for 2012,
Sure.
which is when this came out, right?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So it's a really good sized budget for then, because that's the same year. I believe that's the same year as the first Avengers film. So at this point the MCU is out and about,
Boot.
but it's not. We're not in Endgame territory.
No.
I think we're not in Captain America: Civil War.
I think 12
territory.
was the year that the first Avengers film came out, just for context of where they were.
Yeah. I think I said that, but
Yeah.
anyways.
I'm just confirming.
Yeah, so it's a sizable budget, and no doubt that has a shit ton to do with the success of The Dark Knight.
For sure.
Right, The Dark Knight blew up. It was huge. It's one of those films that transcends just being a film. It was
I
everything.
was just gonna say.
It was a lunchbox.
Yeah.
It was a toothbrush. It was a way of life for a lot of people. And so I think everyone was just like, okay, well, I don't know, Mr. Nolan, how much do you want? Like,
Here's this blank check.
write whatever you want on here. So domestically, it did $248 million.
Okay.
No,
Yep.
$448 million. $448 million. Worldwide overall, like we said, $1.1 billion. Which, let me do a little bit of quick math here. Times 2.5. Subtract.
Carry the two.
Carry the 2, and then struggling here. So it made about $525 million in, like, once we're done paying everyone, the movie's made, we've distributed it, we've marketed it, we've paid to put Cillian Murphy on a plane and send him to Australia to do press, in which case the person in Australia is like, are you in this film? Weren't you the villain in the first one? Why are you here?
Which is a side note. I love how he does he is the most continuity other than Batman in these films. Like we love the
Alfred.
actor, but
We got Jonathan Crane is and he becomes more and more. He's like arguably Jonathan Crane in the first one. He's established. He's a psychiatrist. He's a doctor.
Yep.
He's got some good stuff going on.
Yeah.
And the second one, Jonathan Crane, he is as meth addict as it gets. He is like, just a little cracked out on his own shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, I told you my product would take you places.
Right.
I never said they'd be places you wanted to go. And in this one, he's still like a cracked out meth head.
Oh yeah.
But it's the wild, wild west. And if you're a meth head, it's your world at this point. So anyways, $525 million of walking around change, of gravy, of profit. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So
It's
it definitely
a ton.
made the studio happy. Let's talk critic and audience score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Interesting.
Critic score,
Okay.
Do you know these numbers going into this?
and
Am I about
I'm
to tell you
actually-
stuff you're...
That's why I'm intrigued by this, because I don't know them, and I'm assuming that they won't be as flattering as how much this film earned. But we'll see. Maybe they are.
venture a guess on critic score. Because critic, I mean, I don't know about you, but like the general takeaway that I normally have
Yeah.
is the audience score. I mean, there's two ways to look at it. Critics, sometimes you're like, you'll never trust the critic score because,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, the number's weird, and the audience score is more like what do people think about it?
Yeah.
But when you get into something like The Dark Knight Rises, or you get into any comic book or geeky, nerdy stuff, you're also viewing a number that reflects a bunch of whiny fanboys. And so it's tricky.
I would hazard. Okay, so I think the critic will be 75 and the audience will be 85. I think they're going to do well, and the audience
Right.
is a bit higher. Would be.
Do you get what I'm saying, though?
Oh,
like
yeah.
When
Oh,
it comes
yeah.
to comic book stuff or anything that has like source material,
Yes.
people are voting.
Harsh.
People are ranking a film emotionally,
Yes. Yep.
not logically.
Yep.
Like with Titanic, someone watches Titanic and for the most part, unless they're like, man, I hate romance. I hate when someone falls in love with someone else. It's so stupid. Which, if you're some guy, because I guarantee you that's some dude in his 20s or teenage, he's like, I don't like romance. That is a combination of two things. That is a gentleman who he himself has not found romance, or didn't watch the film long enough to see that there was nudity in it, and that if you're a 16-year-old boy, there's actually something about that film that appeals to all ages. And so, but yeah, so it's you have to take the audience rating with a grain of salt
Sure.
for this type of film. So, critic score
Yeah.
87.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so what did you say? You thought the critic
75.
score was going to be higher than the audience score?
I thought critics would be harder on it. Audience would be better scoring. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're correct, but not by
Oh.
much. So the audience score is 90%.
oh, okay.
90%.
So they like them.
Which kind of makes me wonder what film they watched because,
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
just not,
I
yeah.
to each their own. I just do remember at the time, I walked out with a bitter taste in my mouth, and so did my friend who I saw it with. But there would be the occasional friend who was like, "Man, so good. I'm buying the Blu-ray, DVD, and the VHS when it comes
Sure.
out." And
Sure.
which is fine, which is okay. And obviously,
Because you have two flavors of Batman fan.
sure, yep,
You have, oh, Batman's so good. I don't care if it's like Batman and he's fighting a bunch of rogue monkeys. It's Batman and I love it and it's so awesome.
right.
Or you have, man, I love Batman so much and it's just I love him so much that no one can ever make a film that I'm going to enjoy, which is the most like stupid toxic kind of fan, because you're like, man, I really love this property. I love this property so much that no one can do it justice. And you're like, okay, well then your life sucks. It's like your favorite, you absolutely love Batman, but you're doomed to hate every Batman film. You're just like sitting there poring over comics from the 60s going, oh, this is so good. It's so good.
Ma, they don't
what?
make it like they used to.
Yeah, what a sad existence. But yeah, so cool. Either way, it did good.
Yes. Yep.
I this is maybe only the second or third time. This is okay. This is maybe the first time since the theater
Oh.
that I watched it all the way through. I watched bits and
okay.
pieces, right?
Yep.
But to actually like sit down and be like, okay, all right, start to finish, let's do this.
Yep.
I have a couple questions.
Please.
Again, I said, you know what? I'm gonna try not to critique things. I'm taking an inquisitive approach, and I'm
Yes.
hoping that my questions will do all the critiquing themselves.
Yes.
What is wrong with his legs? Is it just... Does he just have atrophy, or was there some horrific off-screen accident that I missed? It's
rickets.
Is it? Like, what the hell is...
No. I did wonder that too. I think the textbook answer is the scarring, like that is injury, the injury he sustained in the Harvey Dent confrontation where he fell like 3 stories down scaffolding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran away from that at the end of the film. We see him sprinting at a good pace.
If you watch it closely, he's hobbling.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so probably a combination. An injury that he never bothered to heal, because he's definitely worse in this than he is at the end of The Dark Knight.
That is true.
Like at the end of this, he's got a cane and the dude can barely walk. He's like Tiny Timming himself up to Anne Hathaway.
I think it's probably like a combination. The injury, probably all like the wear and tear he had overall. That he's 8 or whatever years older, so that didn't improve things. And he's
it's 8 years. It's a long time.
It is a long time, and also just the sitting around all day. Like he's not really doing a lot, so maybe he is a little bit stiff.
Sure. Okay, so that answers that question. So it's a combination of the two. It's an injury and it's atrophy.
Yes.
It's an atrophied injury.
Yeah.
Question number 2.
Please.
Which, this isn't the order I was going to ask them in, but actually this is kind of appropriate. It came up.
Good.
Why 8 years?
I don't know.
Like, okay, it's been a while. It's been 18 months. It's been... if the only purpose for 8 years, the only consequence that I can see of the fact that it's been 8 years is that you go, oh wow, he really is effed up. He's just that pathetic. But I think I would have walked away with the same, like I walk away 8 years going, oh, okay, well, I no longer feel like I understand what's I no longer feel like I'm in the know. I feel like an outsider, and then there's context, all kinds of context for this city that I'm missing.
Right.
Whereas if they had said 18 months, 2 years, I would have gone, oh wow, yeah, like no one has seen him in 2 years. Holy cow! But 8 years, you're like, I don't know, and they didn't have a funeral for him. Like what's Tom Hanks was gone 4 years, and they buried a bunch of Elvis CDs for him. Like,
it's something I never considered. 8 is specifically random, and I also do get what you're saying. It maybe not as believable. Like maybe a year or 2 years is like okay, yeah, and it's not something I gave too much thought. But that's 8 is oddly specific and random.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, we're 0 for 2. I think. Well, I mean, kind of. I guess you answered the...
I did answer the first one, yeah.
So my next question.
Please.
In a world...
Okay.
I sound like the movie trailer. In a world. In a world where you are giving me a Batman film.
Okay.
And your whole motive... And I talked about this since Batman Begins. There was foreshadowing when I talked about how there was a little bit of inconsistency with these films, and that potentially this third film was the biggest offender of this. In a film franchise, Batman film franchise, where your tagline, if you are going to have a tagline, is Batman, the most realistic we've seen him yet. What the hell is the Bat? Like... in The Dark Knight, we see... In Batman Begins, we have the Tumbler.
Yes.
And you're like, okay, I don't think that's a military vehicle that actually exists. But,
sure.
Aside from, like, the whole, like, moving into weapons mode, where he's, like, down... And you're like, okay, yeah, this could happen, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sure they could, I don't think they would. I don't, really think the practicality of this thing. And maybe that's the whole point, is it's sitting in the science division of Wayne Enterprises. And so it wasn't actually practical, but it works out for, billionaire spelunkers. And then you have the Bat Pod in the next one, which is like, okay, like that's you should be winning the Nobel Prize for this shit, because that is advanced. That is, holy moly.
Yeah.
That is impressive. And then the bat comes along in this one. This like hovering, and don't get me wrong, I have the Hot Wheels figure mint in the package for all three of these vehicles.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Okay.
But what the hell is this thing? It's so ridiculous. The fact that he's able to like get it down into that alley without anyone noticing.
Oh, yeah.
And then is there not a more effective, efficient design than to have like 3 or 4 giant fan blades that propel this thing through the city? Like, what the hell is that? I just, that and a combination of like the fact that the military, several months into this Bane's coup, they don't just nuke the damn island. They don't just like, I don't know, accept a couple casualties and storm the island anyways.
Right.
Like the fact that Bane's been able to keep control as long as he keeps, that's stupid in and of itself. But
Sure.
just his tech in this one, I'm like, again, it's cool. It is cool.
Sure.
It's a cool idea, weirdly executed. But like, again, it just feels like a total abandonment of, we're going to do this and we're going to do this very seriously. So what gives, I guess, is my question.
My answer to you is I'm not as steamed about it, like as in I've never given it much thought. I have given thought to it that I think it's the weakest. I agree. And when you outline a few different paths of why you think it's kind of weak, as far as, just different story elements where, it appears or disappears or certain flaws of it, I'm kind of agreeing with you that, yeah, it's a little weak. So I don't have an answer for. But
right.
I guess I would say it's in line, and we'll get to some of these things later on, or just as they come up naturally. But I do feel that one flaw or problem I have with this film is, like you said, hey, we brand ourselves on the realism that we bring to Batman in this trilogy. With this one, if they were pushing the limits in 1 and 2, where you go, okay, like that's not real, but it's close enough to reality that for this story I can put up with it. In this one,
right,
they just kind of jumped over the line and did a tango on top of it and didn't care and
sure did.
Left it 20 feet behind them.
Final question.
Please, I like these.
And the most egregious offense in my perspective.
Oh.
Why the hell would you take a film and add a character like Selina Kyle, who is the first person that Bruce Wayne is willing to settle down and fall in love with after his beloved Rachel, and not bother spending any time actually giving any backstory or really developing the character whatsoever, so that your audience is just left feeling, we don't really know who the hell she is. But I guess because she's so damn hot, Bruce Wayne is willing to overlook the fact that she stole his mother's pearls, and now they're going to run off and live in a witness protection program together on some foreign island.
Yeah, why? Why bring in such an iconic character like Selena Kyle.
Sure.
And B, then make her, because I mean, Selena Kyle's been a love interest of Batman through the years. Absolutely. That
Sure.
checks out.
Yep.
But this Batman, the Batman in the world that we're talking about, is head over heels, is distraught. Like in this film, we see him find out that, well, what if Rachel wasn't actually going to wait for you, sir? Like, we find out, he finds out in this film.
Yep.
Like, he's at the start of this film, and he's still heartbroken. Mm-hmm. Like, he still makes the bed on her side. He still sprays it with her perfume. Like,
He, in every facet of his life, he's stuck in a rut because of her absence.
Absolutely. And he has not moved on whatsoever.
He's not even like got past the first step of denial yet.
And yeah, this film takes place over a period of time.
Yep.
But this isn't like a period of time in which case they're like building a rapport with each other. He's like in a prison healing a broken back, which
Ugh.
I don't know what that bullshit is.
No kidding.
But like he's in a prison healing his broken back.
Sure.
And so then all of a sudden he's just like, well, a man's got needs, and he like moves past Rachel altogether.
Yeah.
Which obviously, like, I don't know. If at this point I'm thinking, like, I've seen how ripped Jake Gyllenhaal is at his strongest. So to just completely, like, ghost his sister, I'm thinking that's maybe not a good idea. But,
Yeah. So,
and then to just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna fake my death and do a little hanky panky with Selena Kyle because, because I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
Like,
where are they?
I'm Batman. I could get it out over the harbor.
So it's
Like,
this question was actually something that you skipped ahead to my notes. I did hone in on this. I've never been as aware of it until I watched it this time. And just the thing that bothers me about the closing scene, we have no reason on screen why Wayne and Selena Kyle should be romantically involved at all. Like you hit it on the head. It's not like even they've had the whole film to build and develop the relationship. They've stolen pearls from one another. They've interacted one another. She betrayed him and led him to Bane. So like the only thing that has been a foundation for the relationship has been like mistrust or misleading and pretty one-sided. And just nothing about it at the end screams, oh yeah, like definitely saw this coming. And it led me down this thought, and I might even say this. We saw more substantial character exposure and romantic moments in this Keaton series by far compared to this film. I'll say the Rachel stuff was on par, that's fine. But in this film,
Bruce and Selena in the Tim Burton film, far more developmental.
Not even
as
not
far
even
as that
just
relationship
that.
goes.
Like there's that, but I can't remember their name, but there's like a lay woman as well who he's just like having dates with, and Alfred, is telling her about raising Bruce, and like way more emotional groundwork for characters on a screen in those moments than any of this. In this movie, I'm just saying it's a modern day film, so it's should have been more aware of what audiences want to see in character development, but they said screw it, let's have a few more explosions in here instead.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of really disappointing things about this film. You've answered, I've asked questions, and you've done an exemplary job of answering them.
Yeah.
I might add.
Yes, they do.
And it's just it's kind of cemented. It has helped. It's helped me understand. I mean, there's still things I don't understand.
Sure.
Like, why does he have more throat cancer in this one than he did?
No.
Like, is he, the treatments aren't working? Like,
No, what I'll say,
because
I don't think it was bad from beginning to end, like worse from beginning to end, but it definitely got to a head. Like when he broke down the door and started yelling at Bane before he got stabbed by Bane's friend. There was a time where I was like, okay, this is like an 11 out of 10 on the scale. Even myself, who doesn't mind the voice, was like, okay, let's just let things cool a little bit here.
I think the worst moment for his voice is when he's gearing up to fly the bomb out over the water.
Sure.
And Gary Oldman's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I could get it out over the harbor." Let's go. And then Gary Oldman's like, "Wait, who are you?" And it's just like such a stupid, no one will ever know who you are kind of moment. It's like, which is like the Rachel moment all over again, where it's like, it's not who I am underneath. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, how old would you say Batman is in this? How old is Bruce?
35, 40?
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I don't
probably.
know.
It's been 8 years. So like 35 at least.
Yes.
Because that's assuming that he's like 27, 26
Sure. Yep.
in the first one.
Yep.
Which maybe.
Yeah, that lines up. Yeah.
But I don't know. So okay. So he's like, let's say he's 35 in this. Which means Jim Gordon has been a cop in one way or another for at least 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. At least
Yeah.
25 years.
Yep.
Because he's around. He's the one that puts the coat over Bruce's shoulders and lets
Yeah.
him know that the world hasn't ended.
So I'm okay with that.
Are you not running a bit of a risk? Like when he reveals his identity to Rachel and he's like, "It's not who I am." Okay, well, yeah, sure. She has specifically said that line to you.
Yeah.
And so you saying it back is pretty cut and dry. That's who you are. But this guy's been a cop his whole life.
Right.
Chances are he's put a coat over the shoulders of more than one kid.
Right.
He's reassured, and this was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
What you're referencing to be
Sure.
like,
I see.
yeah, a hero is just about anyone or whatever stupid bullshit he says. Anyone could be a hero.
That's not what he
It's as simple as someone putting a coat over a young boy's shoulders and letting him know that the world hadn't ended. And then he gets in his bullshit aircraft and he goes to fly away, and Gary Oldman's like,
Huh?
Bruce Wayne. But I feel like more accurately he should have been like, Bruce Wayne? Right? Or is it Is it Bruce Wayne? I don't know. It might have been Bruce Wayne. Like,
Right.
that
I
was
see what you mean.
25 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah. I hear what
Other
you're saying.
kids have gone through stuff. I'm a
Yep.
cop. I'm. And then I won't even get started. You know what? Blake is a cool character. Absolutely. I have no issues with Blake whatsoever. But then you make him Robin,
He's okay. Yeah.
and you're gonna pass the cowl onto him, and it's
Sure.
like it's just such a it's such a fan service moment.
Yep.
Because it's like, you should use your real name more often. I really like it. Robin. Like, okay, wait. First of all, ask the guy for his number. Don't be so coy. Second of all, he didn't, I don't know. He's a cop. Why are we passing all the secrets to him? What combat training do we know that he has?
Right.
How do we, just because he supports the Batman
Yep.
and he's made it as a cop in the city that probably has the lowest friggin' standards to make it onto the police force,
Yeah.
right? Being a cop in this city tells us nothing of your serve and protect abilities.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand.
Well, and arguably has just as much development as Selena Kyle and Bruce Wayne has
Very
or
little.
had. Like very, very, very little on-screen reason to say,
Yeah.
this makes sense.
The
Passing
movie's
it on.
ending, and he passes the cave and the cowl and everything over to Blake, and instead of you kind of go, oh, look, he's Robin. I see what they did there. Instead of walking away from it going, yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. That feels right. That feels good. You're like, who is this guy? So this guy's gonna be Batman now? Like, it's such a unnecessary, stupid moment.
Yeah. And while we're on Robin, one of the things that I found, there were a handful, and they'll come up anecdotally throughout, but where this film really dropped off on the realism, where it just took a lot of leaps, and I went, huh? Was one with Gordon, I always mispronounce it, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, where I honestly watched this interaction between him and Bruce Wayne in Bruce's living room, and I go,
Yeah.
how exactly do you know he's Bruce Wayne as Batman? Like, you have this bullcrap anecdotal tale of recognizing a specific facial gesture that Bruce gave and that he was hiding some pain. And I go, what? Like, go on. Like, where, how, that's connecting dot A to B. How did you get to Z where you pieced all this stuff together that someone who's hiding pain, who's a millionaire, was Batman? Like, it just seemed such an unrealistic jump for me. So for me, that was just one point where I went, okay, this film was kind of lost a definition of what realism is, at least to me. And then it continued also where, just for the same matter, Bane just knew who Batman was under the mask. So
Right. Yeah. Even before Selena Kyle knew.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
Like,
and that Bane, whatever, I don't really care. But more just with Robin, I'm like, how the heck are you, like, from a story writing perspective, are we passing this off? Because that makes no sense. I'm sorry.
I think it was weak writing, and I think it was just
Yes.
we need something that's gonna
Nudge Batman along.
yeah. It was just poor exposition and poor
so bad.
progression. It was convenient that he
Too
knew.
convenient.
Yeah.
It's almost like, hey, I missed a scene. I missed a scene. What happened? Because we've really skipped kind of, yeah.
Yeah. We haven't really talked about Bane at all.
Yes, and I would like to keep it that way. So until next time, we'll rate and review us. No. Yeah. Continue. Continue.
I don't know. I'm just like, literally, he's got some really cool lines. Like,
He
his
sure does.
dialogue is cool.
Yep.
He's. I would say Bane is a character that live action Batman films haven't gotten right yet.
Okay.
He's a departure from. He is a departure from the comics. Not near as much as the mindless, dummy, idiot, moronic thing from Batman and Robin.
Oh.
Bane.
He was a zombie. He was a zombie.
Monkey business. Yeah, it's terrible. I don't know.
Oh,
there's
actually,
just
wait,
some
wait,
weird
hold on.
stuff.
Just wait 1 second. I do have a sound effect from Bane in that movie. Just 1 second, okay?
Oh, bring it.
You'll hear it when you edit it.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it, but I'm excited to hear it. I'll laugh while I'm editing. Probably. But you know,
Continue.
like, there's just. So I don't know. I didn't send it to you. I rewatched it. I should send it to you.
Okay.
They originally had Tom Hardy So first of all, Tom Hardy is huge
Oh,
in this film.
many
Like not just like
protein
muscular.
powders.
Like he is big.
Chicken
like
breasts.
He is huge.
Yep.
That's impressive. His
Sure.
acting, the acting that he's able to do, because you never see a lot of his face because he's always got the mask on. The acting that he's able to do with just his eyes and the emotion that he's able to
Yep.
convey.
Yep.
Hats off totally to Tom Hardy.
Of course.
And they shot the movie and they did it and they showed it in front of a test audience, and in it was all Tom Hardy talking in the suit. Like it sounded a lot more like a guy in a mask. And no one could understand at all what he was saying. And so then they made the decision to dub him over, to have him like Tom Hardy go into a booth and like re-record all of his lines. And he's still not always easy to understand.
No.
And so
I guess I'm wondering why someone would have someone record a thing and then do it in such a way that you still couldn't understand anything being said.
He's got some cool lines. He does,
Sure.
So the one I just spoofed there, right? Where
Yeah.
at the beginning, his first line, and he's like,
Or perhaps he's wondering why someone would shoot a man before tossing him out of a plane.
like, it's a cool line.
Sure.
When the guy's like, you're a big guy, and he's like,
For you?
like that makes
Yeah.
me laugh every time. Because it's such a great, intimidating line. He's like, you're a big guy. And he's like, well, for you, compared to you, yeah. And it's just like, it's equally acknowledging what the guy's saying and like pointing out the petiteness of the guy he's up against.
I will say, I will agree there are some good lines, and I will agree that, yeah, a lot of the time, or sometimes at least anyway, they're botched just from the mechanics of how we just can't understand him. I will say, and I think maybe we're getting onto a theme here, I think there's just sometimes some corny, lame writing that's utilized in this, where I think they're just really just mining a bit too hard just for the cool one-liners. Because there's some that, like you just illustrated, that land, but sometimes just there were some that specifically I'm talking when a henchman brings Gordon in the sewer and throws him on the ground, and Bane's like shaving or something, whatever. He's not even looking, and he's like, "Why are you here?" And the henchman like kicks Gordon, and he's like, "Answer him." And Bane's like, "I'm talking to you." And it like just kind of sometimes I'm like, okay, this is kind of getting a little like his one-liners are kind of getting a little bit much on me. Like, let's just kind of progress, move on. Let's not try and lean into them too much here, but that could just be me.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, it's hit and miss, right? But I think he's got so many good moments that kind of make up for it,
Sure.
right? Like when he's like,
And when Gotham is in ashes, then you have my permission to die.
like
Sure.
that's a cool line.
And
Then you have my permission to die.
And it's cool, but I actually find it cool when it's relayed back by Christian Bale when he says you have my permission. Like he returns the tables and kind of repeats the line later on.
Absolutely.
And I think
Absolutely,
that's cool. I think that's cool.
Absolutely. I will say the motivation in this film, though, like the antagonistic motivation, is like, I don't know, like the fact that at the end of the day, I mean, it is and it isn't, just kind of Ra's al Ghul again. Like,
Yep.
so it's
Yep.
Talia, it's his daughter,
Yeah.
who's kind of seeking some revenge on Daddy, and Bane. We completely and totally diminish any cool development that we've done with Bane because, once again, even though he talks this time, he really is just a muscle. He's just a front man. That's it.
Oh yeah.
He's not. None of this is his mission. He just loves Talia, who in the comics, by the way, I don't know. I don't know if I mentioned this or if I said I was going to save it for this one. In the comics, Like there has always been a little bit of a romance between Talia and Bruce as well.
Oh, okay.
So Talia ends up in the comics the mother of Damian Wayne, Bruce's son. So they do actually end up having a kid together at some point. But that's neither here nor there. Talia, it was a fun twist. It was exciting as a fan to see Talia pop up.
Sure.
I sound like the guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Please, sir, don't pee on the urinal. You know the guy I mean? He like works at the movie theater and the gas station and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool to see her pop up. But I don't know. Again, it's like she didn't have any. We spent a little bit of time developing Bane, and then none of that development mattered. Half of that development wasn't even his development. It turns out it was Talia, and they'd like duped us.
Yeah, which
and then
felt
Talia
a little
just
forced.
like you just don't care. You just don't know enough about her because she's only actually the villain for like
2 minutes,
5 minutes.
Yep.
And then so you don't feel anything there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cool ending. Kind of the symmetry of the, that he like acts out. Although logistically, again, how'd you time that? How many Saturdays has Bruce and Selena been coming and sitting at this friggin' bistro just in case? Just in case Alfred decides he may never have done that. Alfred could be dead. Who knows? It's cool, but at the same time, it's like, so then, I don't know. So then how dare you just live your life? Like, so then what happens to Alfred? Like, I'd like to think that scene happened, the credits rolled, and then Bruce and Selena waved Alfred over and said, "Hey, come live with us."
Yes.
Come be like,
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what they're suggesting.
No.
I think that Alfred was just lived out his days happy knowing that Bruce had made it.
Had
And
moved
you're like,
on.
well, yeah, but what of Alfred?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden the waiter came over and said, "Actually, sir, your bill has been taken care of, and here is a check for $12 million."
Yeah.
From an anonymous admirer.
I will say this was going to lead into a note I had, but that to me the Alfred sequence is still a banger for me. He does have the dream, wishing that Bruce never returned to Gotham, but then also just wishing that he would move on currently, and just wanting greater life for Bruce and having him live outside of the sorrow that Gotham has brought him, and seeing him on the banks of Florence. And I agree, when it comes full circle at the end, like even with like the Hans Zimmer like drums rolling, watching it on my TV, I'm like, yes. And then Alfred gives the nod, I'm like, yes. Which I'm just saying I care about. They've given me enough, not a lot of screen time, but enough backstory that I actually care about that. So, some of the other things that we've just discussed that are just kind of not very grounded as far as progression, that's why we don't care about them.
Can I point out something weird?
Please.
So obviously Bruce didn't tell anyone that he was going to fake his own death.
Yeah, I guess that would defeat
Right, he didn't tell Alfred. Everyone's standing there mourning around the grave.
blubbering
Right.
like a,
So Bruce is a bit of a dick for that.
a bit.
Also, I don't know. He bailed out when? Like, that is some very misleading cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
Because we see a shot inside the cockpit literally 2 seconds before the damn bomb goes off.
Like,
So
way too short, like small enough of a window that it's like, okay, he's in the blast radius. If the explosion doesn't get him, the radiation will kill him in 10 minutes.
yeah, either way, I mean, he's got, I'm surprised he has hair when he's sitting at the thing with Selena Kyle. right? You'd think
Could be a
at this point
toupee.
the radiation sickness is probably, but okay. So here's the thing.
Sure.
So he didn't tell anyone that he was going to do this, which means he didn't tell Alfred.
Yep.
Which means he also couldn't have told anyone, including Alfred, that he was passing on his position as the Batman to
Right.
Blake.
Yep.
Which means at some point, a week later, there is a moment when Alfred heads down in a t-shirt and boxers to the Batcave holding a baseball bat
That's
because he
true.
hears someone rummaging
That's
around in the
true.
middle of the night.
Yeah.
And what a horrible, and I swear. He gave me, I swear, I'm supposed to be here, I swear. Like,
That's yeah.
I don't know, prove
No,
it.
yeah.
Like,
But
And then-
I'll
and then-
counter argue because I think you're spot on. Like I think like come on, like some connected dots needs to be handed out here just so that everyone's on the same page of what's happening. Bruce, like come on. But I will say
Yeah.
we don't even know. I'm just pointing out the flaw in the film, not in your critique. I'm just saying we don't even know if Robin ever came back again. Like he could have just been on that elevated platform. And everyone's assuming he's like, yes, I'm going to take up this and I'm going to be the guardian. I'm the new knight of Gotham. He could have equally been like, wow, yeah, I've never once said I wanted to do this. I've quit the police force because I've dreamt of being a coffee barista. Screw this.
well, and also, like,
We don't know.
who is going to be his support?
That's right. Like
Alfred doesn't actually care about the Batman project. He cares about Bruce.
yeah.
He does this because of Bruce. He doesn't give two shits about a non-Bruce Wayne Batman. What's to say Lucius Fox is going to help you?
That's the thing. To me, it's not even about the support of Alfred, which it's a good point. He needs it. But you're like, as soon as battery life on any piece of equipment goes down, you are screwed because you don't have the tech connection
Yeah.
that was fueling you throughout this whole series that I thought, okay, this is real. You need someone with actual technical skills, resources. And
Yeah.
you don't have that as Robin.
And you're a different height than Christian Bale.
Very
So the
much.
suit's not going to fit you.
No.
And
Well, yeah, no.
Even if the suit does fit you, you better count yourself lucky that Lucius Fox added a posable head into the suit design
Right.
prior to, because again, who the hell is going to help you? Pretty boy.
Yep.
Everyone's going to be like, no. I remember you from Third Rock. I don't think so, buddy. Do you have anything else to say?
I do. It's kind of like I guess an overall critique. I think just where this film loses my interest is two things, but they're kind of tied. But I think you lose it for me where the stakes in the second film are so much higher, not on a physical level, but just morally, where you had this moral battle for Gotham. And I think you need somewhat equal stakes to garner my attention again after what we've been through. And for me, nuclear destruction of Gotham, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, in the real world, that's horrible, that's awful, that's scary as anything. But just in the story narrative, I'm like, well, if the bomb goes, it goes, and that's the end of the film. And, I guess maybe that has to do with my second critique or my second problem with it, is what I think this series did well in 1 and 2 was, and I'd say its strength, was it's the story of this individual man that is Bruce Wayne. And then there's the different channels of his different relationships with other people and him trying to maintain the memory of his father through the embodiment of Gotham, and just there's all these peripheral things, but at its core, it's this individual man and this individual story. And in this end chapter, it's just so diluted with trivial volume that I ultimately don't care. Like, I just don't really care. The film focuses on things that I really just don't think it should focus on. So like I said on before, there were just some things that, moral battle for Gotham, we never reached that intensity. When this film kind of developed and there's the guilt over Harvey Dent cover up, I thought it was overblown. I'm like, who cares? Like, honestly, who cares? Bane revealing it to the public and Robin kind of making a big deal out of it. I kind of went, who cares? Like, and is the assumption that Gordon's family left him as a result of this? Like, he cracked and said, I have to tell you something, honey, and they were so disappointed that they ditched his ass? Because again, I go, why? Like, I guess just the Harvey Dent cover up to me is a microcosm of some of the issues with this film that I go, I don't really care. Like, I really don't. It's not that big of a deal. Let's focus on something else that really is anchoring and that is significant. And that I think essentially, big picture, that's my problem with this film. Not as big of stakes from a storyline perspective, and they don't focus the camera time on things that develop the individual story. I think on a small level, there's just things when I turn my head, every corner, there's new things that bother me. Just the concept of sending every single police officer into the sewer, like every single police officer, not even from that's an unwise strategic thing to do. It's just not necessary. Like, you don't need, it's just unnecessary. Things oh, good.
Pretty friggin' unlikely. Like, if you think
Yes.
about,
Yes.
I mean, you and I, we would both, our hometown area,
Yeah.
we would, it's a town of about 7,000 to 8,000 people,
Sure.
which means the fact that it even has a police station,
Yeah.
is one thing, but it definitely only has one. There's only one precinct.
Yep.
Gotham, like New York, like LA, like
Yes.
Chicago,
Yep.
is going to have many. So it's not
Many.
like everyone from the one, like, I assume, like the GCPD, it can't be one building,
No.
right?
Yeah. Yes.
Like NYPD has several buildings, multiple throughout the city. And so I don't know. It's just, again, it's like,
no. Yeah.
it just seems like it'd be like herding cats to try to get them all
Yes.
down into this. You just wouldn't do it. You'd be like, oh, okay, there's 400 cops in the city.
Yes.
We're going to take 10 because we're not stupid. Hell, we'll take half. We still have 200 cops down there.
Yeah. It's the thing that for this stupid storyline to make sense, and again, this is where it strays from realism and it bothers me, is you need, for the Bane's plan to be executed and effective, you need every single cop to be down there. And just the reality from a human resources HR perspective, that's never going to happen. There's going to be people that called in sick that day. There's people that have to man the desk at the precincts. There's surveillance cars driving around. There's beat cops doing other stuff. Just the reality is that from a story plot perspective, that Bane needed this to happen, that it just doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
Little things like when Bane robs the stock exchange and then they all just come prancing out on motorcycles. I'm like, where the hell did those come from? Where?
So I will say the stock exchange scene, this is totally off the beaten path.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
or out of the blue, whatever. It's a tangent. The stock exchange scene has my favorite moment in the movie.
Oh.
Because I think it's such a politically charged, well-written, excellent line.
Where?
And again, it's a Bane line. When this guy's like, we don't have any money. There's no money here. Right? He says, like, if you're trying to rob us, there's no money. There's no money here.
Yeah.
And Bane says,
Really? Then why are you people here?
and it's like, it's so good because, yeah, it's like, it's pointing out the money obsession, the greed in mankind, that if there isn't money here, there wouldn't be people here. You vultures, you bloodsuckers in your suits and your ties and your briefcases.
Huh.
You wouldn't congregate in these numbers if there wasn't financial gain.
That's actually
And
interesting.
I think it's a great line.
I think it's an excellent line, and I think it's interesting how you brought it up, because that's not just a different flavor. I thought you were maybe going to go somewhere else with that, and more just like, is it white collar? Just kind of like upper class, kind of stealing and preying upon those of less resources, and kind of stealing in that regard. I guess essentially just kind of like the quote unquote Wall Street people that, make money off the backs of others. I thought that's kind of where you're going, and that's how I've always read it. But I think yours is a little bit more meta, a little bit more big picture, and I think that's an interesting spin. A little bit.
Well, that's me.
Your
Meta.
interpretation transcends a little bit more.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Do you have anything else?
Couple more things.
Okay.
I think the last thing I'll end. Two things. The opening sequence to me doesn't even cut it. It's such a contrast to realism that it's problematic to me. It's not enjoyable.
It feels like something out of it should be Mission. Like you're like, am I watching the new Mission Impossible
Yes!
film? Like, at what moment
Yes,
does Tom Cruise straddle down the side of this plane?
it's that level of realism. Like if that's the tone of the films, then it would have been consistent, and that's not being the tone of the films, and that's the problem with me. It's inconsistent, and what's inconsistent is the actual plane wreckage. Like when the authorities are going to be examining it, it's literally going to be the hull of the plane, and the wings will be like 10 miles behind them. Like,
Yeah.
nothing about that crash site. The authorities will be like, yeah, this is textbook. And just, it's lame. It's weak writing, and it's laziness. The fact that they do like 2 minutes of a blood transfusion to make it look like a corpse is another human being. I was like, no. This movie shouldn't even happen. Like, no one will be convinced of that. The science doesn't add up. I'm sorry.
At best, they'll be confused. They'll be like, "What friggin' idiot!"
Yeah.
Like, come here, Johnson. You ever seen anything like this before? Dang, Mitchell. I don't quite understand what we're looking at here. I mean, it's a good thing this guy's teeth are intact and we're actually able to identify him, and
Or all 10 of his fingers, like, for
fingers and
fingerprints.
a simple DNA analysis pulling one of his hairs here tells us we just don't know why he's got so much of this other feller's blood in him.
Yeah, I think the opening sequence to me, I thought of an analogy. To me, it's like being at a party, and there's a friend at the party, and you like this friend. It's not someone you hate. But the friend is just trying too hard to impress for whatever reason. And you look at that friend and you say, dude, just take it easy. We're all trying to have fun here. It's the same with the intro of this film. It's like trying to capture the magnitude, the insanity that was the excitement around the second film. And it's like, okay, just take it easy. Like, maybe win us over with well-written script and good dialogue and villains that we can understand, instead of just blowing all your energy into the opening scene.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
this is the last thing I'll end it on, and it ties to my point. Like, so many things on this film were things that were on screen that really didn't need to be, that if there were more time of Selina Kyle with Bruce, insert some important character and getting a little bit more character development. The fact that we see this coward police chief and spend time on him, that he's hiding with his wife at home and he won't show up, and then finally he has a change of heart and he's joined the boys and he's charging the front lines, and eventually he's dead. I don't care. Like, spend that time on significant characters, because I had no care in the world when he died. Just the reality of how much he was developed. And again, any time that you spent on him took away from Bruce, Selina, Robin, anyone of significance. So I will stop.
Well, not even, and just
I will stop
like there's
with that.
lots of things.
It
Like the
bothered
whole, there's lots of things. Like the whole storyline where Gordon's in the hospital.
Okay. Yep.
What serves what purpose? I mean,
Not much.
It evokes a bit of an emotional response because you'd hate to see Gordon that way.
Well, okay, I will say, I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I think their idea was, well, Merv, when we read that every cop's in the sewer, if he's in the hospital, then he won't be there. And I think that's...
Yeah, but I mean, Blake's not in the...
Oh,
like,
I'm with
still.
you. But
You have two cops.
I think what I'm saying is, in your and mine reality based, that not every cop is going to be down there, and the chances are that like the head honcho won't be down there, because that's just how things work in real life. Like someone's planning behind the scenes. He's not going to be in the sewer. He didn't need to be in the hospital, so I don't know why he's in the hospital from a story perspective.
I don't know. He hit traffic. Like he didn't make it.
He had food poisoning, for heaven's sakes. Just do something.
Yeah.
His alarm broke. I don't care. Whatever it is.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
0 to 10, sir.
It's funny that you mentioned 0. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that low. There it is. I gave it a 3.8 out of 10.
Holy shit. That's low. That is low.
I gave it a 4 on Marshall's scale. So, I was pretty...
You're not allowed to refer to it as that anymore.
I gave it a 4 out of 10 on the scale.
On the scale.
The scale.
So a little bit of backstory here.
Yes.
I don't know where to begin. So big friend of the show. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's created the Movie Men Bingo down below. He's been on He's been on one episode. He's probably going to be on another one in the next month or so.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, his name's Marshall. He's like is it a childhood or like college friend of yours?
College, yeah.
College. Well, we're all children in college. And so he's you've been using his scale, which is stupid because his scale is basically my scale because it's just a normal human being scale. Like he's got some criteria that some specific ways that he gets there rather than just sort of like a gut feeling. But like, I don't know. I think it's basically the same thing. And then so I somewhat humorously, somewhat maybe rooted in... Yeah, I do. Okay, your scale, which has been sort of historically, when your scale is consistent, big asterisk there, is based on like the amount of effort you're going to put into to consume this film.
Yep.
Rainy, VHS, cottage, rent it, buy a DVD, buy a Blu-ray player for the Blu-ray, get a babysitter, go to the theater,
and
a theater.
One thing I think I've updated to maybe reflect the times. This I'll say, lowest is like cottage, no Wi-Fi, it's raining. I would say the next step up, I think to update with the times, I'd say I'd watch it on a streaming site that I'm subscribed to.
That you're already subscribed to.
That I'm already subscribed to. Yeah. And then the next step up, I think I would say I would pay $30 premium access to view this once on some streaming site. And then the top is the same. Like I would rent a theater or, go to a theater, hire a babysitter.
Yeah. Buy a plot of land and get myself a franchise. But I was throwing you some shade.
You were, yeah.
And I was throwing your scale some shade. And then, and just kind of like joking. And then Marshall, was it a public comment or did he message us? I don't know what it was, but he was like...
I think it was public.
Yeah, and he was like, he says, yes, it is time for Pete's bullshit scale to die. And I was like, oh no. Like, I'm rallying troops that I didn't intend to rally, and so yeah. So anyways, I think that's so funny that when your scale is consistent,
right?
I find it intriguing and it entertains me, and I think it's fun because it's a perspective that I don't often.
For sure.
I'll go see just about anything in the theater because I love the theater experience.
Right. Yeah.
But so it's an interesting perspective that you have, and the way you rank them on your scale. But then there is times like what was it? What film was it that we did recently? And you're like,
this doesn't make sense. Might have been Truman. I think it was Truman.
Was it the Truman Show? Yeah, where you're like, I think it's a pretty good film.
But I wouldn't see it in theater. I think that's what it was.
Well, but you ranked it like low.
No.
You ranked it like cottage low, and it was. Hang on, because I didn't write it down. I was going to. It's in the Google Doc. But anyways,
we must be talking about different films.
Yeah. Anyways, okay. So 3.8.
3.8 or 4. For context, the only ones that is Batman films that I like more than this, according to Score, is the 1966 Batman was the lower, and Batman and Robin from 97 was lower. Then the next one up is Dark Knight Rises. So I like all the other Batmans more.
Wow. That's I would say the most controversial, the biggest statement there. Mm-hmm. The biggest sort of something that says the most about who you are as a Batman fan.
Sure.
Is that this film edges out Batman Forever.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's what you were going to say.
Right. Obviously, yeah, absolutely. You'd be crazy to think that this film was worse than Batman and Robin. You'd be crazy to dislike it compared to gee willikers. Oh, Batman. We gotta, come on. Well, Robin, if there's one thing I know about criminals, it's that they always eat cheese sandwiches on a Wednesday. Like, it's just the most stupid asinine. Yeah. Anyways, but Batman Forever is that's a little more telling, I think, of you and just like your likes and dislikes.
Mm. Yeah. What did you give this film out of 10?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned 10. No.
Yeah, right.
I give it a 5.5 out of 10. It's still Batman.
Okay. Yeah.
It's still, I don't think it's a bad movie, but I don't think it's a good movie. I'm not like, I'd rather scratch my eyes out than watch the Adam West one again.
Right.
And I'm a big Batman fan. I don't have that kind of visceral reaction to this film. Mm-hmm. I'll gladly sit and watch it. Yeah. But it's definitely the weakest of the trilogy.
Yeah.
I can agree. And it's not good. Like I think I would rank it in the exact same spot as you. Yeah. Like I think I would rather watch Batman Forever.
Yeah.
And some of that's a nostalgic thing, like a childhood, whatever. Yeah. But cool. Cool. I got a question for you, sir.
Yes.
What'd you watch this week?
So, I watched a couple things. I've continued the journey on Lost with my wife. We're rewatching the TV series. I've seen it before.
How long have you been at this? Like
over 2 months.
Yeah, it's consuming too much of your life.
So I think that's a differing of opinion. I'm enjoying the ride, so I would say no. You were less of a fan of the show, so you might say yes.
Well, everyone on the Titanic enjoyed it at first too. They were like, "This is fine. This is a fine ship."
I'm in we're on the third season, so we're still in the prime, and I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I will say there are things that I'm just reminded of throughout. I'm watching like different interviews throughout, and the one tidbit before I move on that I'll say is just it is interesting from a TV series from the early 2000s to have there was quite a bit of diversity that I think viewing it nowadays you just kind of go, oh yeah, like that's good. And just when you think of the context of the time, like there were entire episodes that were aired on network television that were in Korean that had English subtitles, which just is quite dramatically polar opposite to the diversity of the time as far as network television, or having someone portray an Arab from Iraq being one of the main characters, or kind of just different things that for nowadays that it's like, okay, yeah, this is great, this is normal, this is good, that at the time was actually pretty dynamic and pretty groundbreaking, I guess you'd call it. So just little things that I'm going, you know what? I like this TV series. There's some things that haven't aged well. There's some things that I don't like, but there's still some story narrative that I really enjoy, and there's some groundbreaking things that it did. So it's fun. It's a fun journey. I'm learning some things as I go along. The other two films that I watched, the one I watched mostly the musical numbers from, because I'm still going to count it. I watched The Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been a while. And I don't think it's in the category of my favorite nostalgic childhood musicals that I watched as a child, but it's still very solid. It's still very sentimentally valuable to me, but it's also just kind of a cool historical a film in history as far as what it did at its time, as far as color and sound and light and everything like that. The last thing I watched is I've been getting into making lists. I like making lists. When we did our top episodes, like top films, top actors, top hot dog flavors, everything about lists I enjoy, and categorizing everything. I just randomly the other day decided to make a list, and I went through Leonardo DiCaprio's IMDb, and I listed all the movies that I've seen of his, and kind of did a bit of an order of like, okay, this is, my favorite, this is my least favorite, and so on and so forth. But I'm trying to knock off a few of his more well-known films that I haven't seen yet, and I'm just making a point of it. So I watched the 2004 Scorsese film, The Aviator, and quite a cast, I have to say. I didn't realize just the volume, like Cate Blanchett, John C. Reilly, Alec Baldwin, Alan Alda. Obviously, it's Jude Law, even Gwen Stefani, which that last one is more just like a noteworthy name. I'm not saying she's an excellent actor, but it makes sense as Scorsese film to have so many well-known actors. But interesting view. I give it around a 6 out of 10 or so. If Leonardo DiCaprio had been in it, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, but it was passable. Definitely not in the upper echelon of Leo films, but worthy to just watch once at least.
Cool.
What did you watch?
Not near as much as you did. Holy moly. That is, you've been busy. You've been busy. I watched three things, two and a half things. I'm still watching Friends.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've been doing longer than you've been watching Lost, but I think we can both agree is more fulfilling.
I would say apples and oranges, because I will not say that Friends is not fulfilling, but I won't incriminate myself and say one is more than the other.
All right, fair.
Which is a side note. Can I just say, I don't know about you, we live close-ish, like same province, same region, but for me personally, it's been super rainy, kind of typical fall chilliness as far as weather. To me, that is like prime, get a nice warm drink, some tea, get a blanket on the couch, and watch some Friends weather. But
oh, yeah. 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 I watched round 2. I went back to the theater and I watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings again.
Yeah, you said that.
Holy moly, man. Holy freaking moly.
So still good.
Just as good as the first one. You got to see it. You got to see it.
Oh, yes.
Cuz I don't know, man. I don't know, like we're going to do the Eternals in like a month and a bit.
Soon.
And and I don't know. I don't know if there'll be stuff you need to see. Like this movie kind of sets some stuff up. So, You got to get out there.
Get on.
What?
Get on it.
Get going, man. One of the evenings where you're like, I could sit and watch Lost. Do something fun instead. I watched Small Soldiers because it didn't win
Yeah.
our upcoming vote for the next episode. But you know, I was like, I really friggin' wanted to watch Small Soldiers, so I did.
Cool.
And you know, it held up to me, but again, I think maybe a lot of that is nostalgia. Because I showed it to someone our age who didn't grow up with it, and they were like, I didn't really like it.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, you know, it's probably a lot of it is nostalgia.
Sure.
The way I say it is, the way I describe the film is it's basically Toy Story meets Gremlins.
Okay.
You know, so Toy Story, what happens when toys come alive when you're not looking?
Sure.
But then what happens when they come alive when you are looking and try to kill you is Small Soldiers.
Dang.
And then I watched, listen, I'm going to recommend to you and to the listener and to everybody in the whole entire universe, it's on Disney Plus.
Okay.
It's a TV series. I watched the first episode today.
Can I guess who stars in it?
Yeah. You can guess who stars in it, yeah.
Tommy Wiseau.
No. What?
Okay. No.
Is that a new...
No.
No.
Is it with Martin Short?
Yep.
Is it with Steve Martin? Is it with Selena Gomez?
Yes.
Oh. And
It's so good, man. We just watched the first episode, and it's fun. They do a lot of fun, cool artistic stuff with sort of the way the show works. But basically, it's a story about three people from very different walks of life.
Sure.
And they're all obsessed with the same true crimes podcast. And then a murder happens in their apartment building, and because they're like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs about this true crimes podcast, all of a sudden they think they have the detective skills necessary to take on solving this crime themselves. And they're like sneaking around in the building and like avoiding the police and stuff. But it's like with two comedy legends.
Yes.
And then also Selena Gomez is excellent in it. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of twists, a lot of like potentially a more sophisticated, less teeny bopper version of the first season of Riverdale. Just in that there's that mystery and that whodunit, and everyone's got secrets. And it's a tagline that the show mentions. I think right at the end of the episode, they say, you know, sometimes it's easier to investigate and search out other people's secrets than it is to deal with our own. And it's yeah. So I think the show is really good so far. It works on multiple levels, and I'm really excited about it. So check it out.
It's been on
100%.
my radar, and I was going to watch it anyway with my wife, but you've accelerated that timeline.
I had a couple of laugh out loud moments. Like, yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Well, you're getting text messages, so we should wrap this up.
Well, if you haven't done so already, please like, follow, subscribe. Check, obviously on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Rate and review us positively if you haven't done so already. Check out our Patreon page, our merchandise page. It's ways for you to help us keep the lights on, keep the show growing, cover overhead costs. Thank you to all our Patreon supporters, specifically shout outs to our upper tier Patreon supporters. So Daphne, Brenna, Nathan, and Marshall. Thank you. And thank you just so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And until next time. Where's the trigger? Who did you give it to?
Goodbye.